Hello, welcome to my channel. I am going to share with you things that I've made because there is a market tomorrow that I am participating in. The last about 2 weeks, I've been working almost every day, not all day every day, but almost every day to fill a couple totes that I have, and I'm feeling like really insecure about the amount of things that I'm bringing. I'm just gonna start off. I'm only showing you the things that I've made over the last couple weeks. I am not showing the things that I had before, like residual stock. Should I start with the boring stuff and then work up to the fun stuff? My son is up here. I have to wait for my husband to take him back down because any second now he's gonna burst in. And I know that he's probably not fully dressed. And unfortunately, this room does not have a lock. I'm gonna start with the boring stuff. Boring, I mean, it's relative, but I've made cotton washcloths. They take longer to make than is probably profitable, but it is something easy for me to do when I am focusing elsewhere. This last couple weeks, I've made all but one of the red ones. They're all cotton except this one is recycled cotton, and it also has polyester in it. I saw this really cool idea on a pattern. I didn't want to buy it yet because it was kind of an expensive pattern. Not expensive. It's worth it, but I'll put a picture. It's cute. It costs, I believe, $5. I'll also have the price. The artist, very creative, very cool. I just wanted to see if, because my market is very local to the military base that I'm staying at right now, I wanted to see if like anyone was even interested in this concept. I don't want to keep investing in patterns that I think are cool that probably won't sell. I found this free pattern. They go around a bun. You picture like a flower. And I made 4 little ones for thicker hair or for, a bigger flower. I made 4 and 4. This was made from worsted weight cotton, and this was made fingering weight cotton. And this is that recycled cotton and polyester mix stuff. I got it in a Hobie Lucky cotton bag or something. Not very expensive. So I'm gonna try these out and see if it's worth buying that other pattern. Because if these are popular, that tells me that it's something that people would do, that people would buy. I don't know. 3 hearts. They're just plain hearts. I'm not gonna sell them for very much. One of the challenges I'm coming up with starting to sell is that I'm not quite on the level of like selling online yet. I don't feel confident enough to do that. But at the same time, I don't really like making plain market things that are easy to make. They are the most cost effective for my time. Like the amount of time they take to make versus how much money I could sell them for. These types of things are more likely to sell because I could price them lower. They don't make my creative juices flow. And maybe it's a matter of like figuring out how to make these fit into the types of things I want to sell, or just finding the right easy makes. Like these though. These were relatively easy to make. I like the like witchy, whimsical, dragons stuff. Like I like that type stuff. So this fits cottage, I don't know, all of the cores that people say nowadays. But like this kind of thing. Cute. I love it. It was simple to make. All the patterns that I refer to, I will try and link down below. Cannot guarantee, but I will try to link all the patterns. If you think I missed one, then comment down below and I will try to fix the text box with the patterns. But I made this with Juicy Couture yarn, which sadly with Joann's going out of business, I don't know how I'm gonna find, if anyone knows of a good velvet yarn that doesn't shed and is like, this one was just nicer than burnout velvet. My experience with velvet has been Juicy Couture and burnout velvet. I know there's more out there, but I'm one of those people where it's hard for me to make choices without touching. And unfortunately, there isn't anywhere that sells velvet yarn in person other than Joann. There's one. I found one. I found this Premier Just Chenille at the dollar store. I found this and it's okay. It's not near as soft. It's not near as nice. It's okay. Cost wise, this is cool. It made some cute frogs. So I have these that were made with the Juicy Couture. I made these with the Just Chenille from Premier. I made with a different Juicy Couture. And the sad thing is, there was a dragon I wanted to make. If you've ever read Fourth Wing, I have made an Endarna, and she sold really fast. I think I'm gonna make another one, mostly because she was so cute. I'm in the middle of making a Tern out of burlap velvet black. I'm double stranding it so he's bigger. I was gonna use this blue for Sigale. All of the other velvet yarn I've found that's blue doesn't quite hit right, and this is the color I picture Sigale. I may have to go on eBay and try to get a hold of whatever this color is. I made a couple of these kind of poison dart frog colors. All together, I've made 9 of those little frogs, and then I double stranded burlap velvet and made, like, I call these a toad. I know it's not actually a toad, but they're bigger. So I priced them up just a little bit. They're definitely bigger, just not like a lot. I really like this pattern, and this is an example of a market make that's quick, simple, and kind of falls in the brand that I'm trying to build. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like a little like witchy frog. Toad. This is a toad. Trevor! I've seen these, and I know that there's probably like a pattern you could buy, but I didn't use a pattern. I made this up on my own. They are potion bottles. My family is really into D&D, and so this fell into like the witchy kind of fantasy you know, whatever. So I didn't follow any specific pattern. This is not my original idea, though. There are many patterns out there that you could buy. In general, though, if you've made amigurumi and you've made in the round, it's not that difficult to figure out how to do this. I'm not saying it's not worth buying a pattern if you want to support other artists, but because I already knew the basic concept, I just made up the top. Cake turtle. Look at her eyes. Right there. She's cute. On the theme of turtles, I made 2 flower turtles. This one's like an African daisy. Have you seen those with like the purple flowers and then they have, or the petals, the purple petals, and then they have like the dark gray inside? And then I made a sunflower one. I made this for another market and it sold, so I replaced it essentially. This is a cute idea. It doesn't fall in brand at all, but these are so cute. They take not very long. It's a free pattern. It doesn't fall into like the whimsical category at all. I'm going to get a bamboo steamer that you actually would make buns in, and I'm gonna place these in there to sell. I like the kawaii look. It's just not like, I don't know. I don't collect things like that, but it was fun to make and they didn't take long to do. So this is a market make I wouldn't mind like making. A market make I have a little bit harder time making. So this is a hippo. It's very cute. I like making this one more than I like making this one. This is a dragon, and it's exactly the same pattern except the tail is a little different. And then you surface stitch these wings on and surface stitch these on. I think it's a paid pattern. I'll share it on Etsy. It was an Etsy pattern. It doesn't take long, maybe an hour. With practice, probably less, because I'm not quite proficient enough to be able to just make it without reading the pattern. And if I like memorized it, maybe it would take me less time. But I've only made a couple of them. 3 dragons and 2 hippos. Those fall into about the category that I'm trying to sell. Not the hippos as much, but the dragon. Those fall in the right like category of stuff that I want to make and have available in my markets. And they're also kind of easy to make. They're like cost effective. Now another one that is cost effective I enjoy making, and it doesn't take very long at all, are these wisps. Oh, it's black. You can't really see. So this one's made with the velvet from Hobby Lobby. I would argue that it's not velvet. It doesn't feel anything like velvet. It is thicker. So like this is the Juicy Couture velvet, and it's much softer, but it's smaller. I went to Joann's like clearance and I bought baby Bernat velvet, and it's obviously a lot smaller, but I had these molly flowers from another project I was gonna make that I kind of gave up on. I said, well, what can I do to like make it worth the same without like having to double up the yarn? I could double up the yarn, but I wanted to see like how could I add a pop of something. And I have an entire like small Rubbermaid thing of these molly flowers. They took so long, like years ago. So I've been storing them for too long. And so I was like, I'll just pop one of these on. To me, that's about, you know, equal in value. These things, they are relatively easy to make. I do not thoroughly enjoy color changing, and sewing is not my favorite. Like, I'll sew for something that is like right up my alley, like something I really want to make. These do not fall into that category for me. I found them to be cute. Depending on how they sell, I might make them again because they didn't take that long with all the color changing and stuff. If they don't sell, I probably will not be making them again. This is another free pattern. They are adorable. They're not like my brand. They were simple to make. The only things sewn are the ears and the snout. Everything else is done in the round. And it's like, you know, a pill shape kind of thing. So fairly simple. The main irritation was the like color changing, which this one wasn't too bad because you color change like the 2 times. Well, no, you color change for the hands too. But then this one, you color change every row, which was not great. But it was this one that killed me because you color change each row here. But he's the cutest because he's Eeyore and he has a little tail. He's the only one with a tail. He's cute. They're cute. If they sell, I'll make more. If they don't sell, they're cute to look at and I will enjoy looking at these, but I probably won't make any more. Also, I'm not entirely sure how the whole selling copyright stuff works. I have them labeled as pig, bear, and donkey, but I don't know. I'm new to this, so like, you veterans out there, well, clue me in, all right? Now, these are the same pattern as the other wisps. I took the baby velvet, or maybe I took acrylic at this one. Did I take baby velvet or acrylic? Can't remember. I think I took a velvet plus fur. And then I took the baby velvet plus fur to make these. And they work up much bigger. For reference, this is the one with the thicker yarn from Hobby Lobby. And this is with the fur. This one though, I will say, I charge more because it makes me sweat. Like working with this thick of yarn makes me sweat. So it's worth it because they work up relatively quick, but I can only make one a day because they really they challenge my wrist. So I've made 2 of those. I've not really been counting, but I'll put a counter up on the screenish area as I'm going, I guess. I don't know. We're getting into the exciting stuff. But the reason why these are not at the top of my exciting is because there are so many things to sew on. And because they're so little, I can't charge that much for them. Each of the horns are sewn, each of the wings are sewn, and each of the legs are sewn, and then the head is sewn onto the body. Even though they're tiny, they still take a couple hours for me. And maybe I'm too anal about my sewing. I don't know, but I'm just saying they're cute, but they're not exciting to make. They are, okay, that's not true. When I get to the point where I've done sewing their face and I look at them and I talk to them and they're looking at me, come on. They're cute, but they just take so much. I had 3 of them sewn, or crocheted, all the pieces I made in one go. And then it took me a week to get around to sewing. I sewed one together each day for 3 days, and I didn't do one every day, so I was avoiding it. This pattern, super cute, easy to do. I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to sell it for what I want to sell it for, but we'll see. Again, I'm new. This is my 2nd ever market. It was a free YouTube video, so I made 2 of those with a little bit different yarn, because that's Bernat Velvet yarn. I made this with Toucan from Hobie or whatever. We'll see. I don't know how spiders are gonna sell, so we'll see. Everything's a test too. That's kind of the hard thing about starting out with markets is you don't really know what's gonna take off, so you don't want to make a bunch of something. Something I should have made that I know is popular is axolotls, but I didn't. I should. That's the thing though, it doesn't fit my brand, but not all of this fits my brand, but it's hard to go so far out of brand, making whales and stingrays and stuff. I know they probably sell well, but I don't want to make animals necessarily. I want to make money though. That's the conundrum. Make things I want to make or make what other people want to buy. I have these Snugglers. I made one of this one. She's super cute. This came in a pack of 2, I believe, the pattern. And I like the other one, I think, better because it had like longer ears. And this one's cute. And she's got a long tail and she's super cute. Then I made the Dino Snuggler. She's cute. I sold one of these at my last market. And so I'm thinking dinosaurs are good. I don't know. It's a lot of sewing, but it's one of the higher priced thing I have. So like the sewing makes sense. Whereas the other ones, it's almost the same amount of sewing, but it's a smaller thing. So I can't charge as much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 things to sew on this. And the other one has 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. Yeah, they have the same amount of things to sew on, but I could sell this one for more because it's bigger. And maybe if I made the other one in this yarn, because I used the Hobie Honey Bunny or whatever, with their chenille yarn, and this is blanket yarn. So maybe if I made those little snugglers in this, I just don't have colors that feel like fun in my burnout blanket, you know? And then I made another dinosaur, and he's cute. He makes me think of like a mohawk, like kid, like a kid with a mohawk. Like I imagine that, right? Super cute. And the creme de la creme, the thing that I love probably the most in my repertoire of things is this guy. He's so cute. He has a little tooth. And this is made with Juicy Couture velvet with like sparkles in it. It makes me so sad to think that I probably won't ever get to use this again. Please, someone buy it. Someone buy that brand, or send me a link to something similar, because I know a lot of people don't necessarily like velvet yarn, but I really like it. I have what is that? Texture issues because of my ADHD, so I don't like working with the burnout velvet that much. I don't like touching microfiber towels at all. Or like if I walk through a store and something looks really soft, like super soft, and then I go to touch it and it's anywhere near microfiber texture, it actually makes my jaw clench. I can work with burnout blanket a little, but it is not my favorite. I don't mind working with the velvet. And I know that the velvet isn't as easy to wash, but come on. They're cute and they're soft. That's everything that I made. Actually, I have it written down. Instead of guessing, I'll just tell you. I may have fudged a little bit on what I showed you because I only started tracked for 12 of the 15 days that I was crocheting. So there's a couple here and there that I might have shown you that I made a couple weeks previously. But overall, what I have is that for 2 weeks, I tracked how much I made. The first 6 days. For the first 6 days that I was tracking, I updated my pricing after I started writing these down because I was realizing like how long these things were taking me. Let me do the math on that. I mean, I don't know what they're going to sell for. So the first 6 days that I crocheted all of those things, I crocheted about $286 worth of stuff. And I'll tell you, I wasn't crocheting like a full-time job kind, but I was crocheting a good chunk of the day. Probably closer to 6 hours, 5 or 6 hours. I homeschool my kids, so obviously like it's happening during their independent work time or while they're reading to me or something. It's something that I do to keep myself calm, but also it helps to you know. So I crocheted about $286, and then if I divide that over 6 days, $47.6 a day, which is pretty good if you ask me. As far as like as fast as I can crochet and what I'm charging, I was aiming for about $40 a day of crocheting. And then I would allow myself to like work on something more like clothes or something that I want to make, or I would test out newer things. But I knew this market was coming, so I needed to have more inventory. And then the next 6 days, let me make sure all my prices are right. 8 times 4 is 32. How much should I charge for the hearts? $3? Maybe 3. I need to update the pricing then. I originally was going to put eyes on them and I was going to sell them for 5, but then I just looked at them and I was like, I don't want to do anything else with them. They're just not inspiring. So I'd rather sell them for $3. You know? Also dice bags. Do those sell well? I'm thinking, I have this dice bag. It's not done yet. What do you think? A potion dice. I need to make a chain and then a little cork. It holds one set of die. But then I was also thinking it could be for like, I don't know, rocks, gems, something. I'm thinking of it like hanging off of a belt or a belt loop or something, right? I don't know. I didn't have a pattern. I just made this up. But it's like a potion bottle is the you know. My husband's into D&D. He thought it was the coolest thing ever. I'm getting distracted. Where was I? Okay, and then the second week I worked for 6 days again, and I only made $280, which would average around the same, $46.66. So I hit my goal. That's nice. Obviously, I always want to do more, and like $45 a day, I was aiming for 40. $40 a day is not that much money. Even if I were to do 7 days a week, it is not like a full-time income. But we are attempting to pay off a small amount of debt that we have left, and unfortunately our van is about to die. We buy secondhand vehicles that are in need of love, and we run them to the ground, and the ground is coming very soon. We've had this van for 3 or 4 years now, and she's a clunkin'. And I actually mean clunkin'. She's making a noise. We took her into the mechanic, and the mechanic said that something about our bearings are probably going to seize without any notice. So in June, we are projected to have a pretty close to enough money to buy a vehicle. Very close. So that's what part of this is, to throw money into that pot. And then also we have some longer term goals that we're hoping to hit within the year. I guess that's not long term, but like feels long term to me. So I'm trying to do what I can without putting the kids in childcare and shaking up their routine too much. And also, again, I like to do it with my hands. And if I'm going to make all this stuff, what am I going to do with it? I'm going to sell it. I don't want to just send it to all of my friends and family and then them not appreciate it or whatever. Like, just because you're related to me doesn't mean that you want all of the things that I make. Now the gorbs, I think almost anyone in my family would enjoy those. There's another one that I made, not in this one, but I love this guy. He doesn't have a mushy, which I might change. If he doesn't sell this market, I might put a mushroom on him, because I had another one that did have a mushroom and he was a different color, but this one, oh, super cute. And I love just his little sad eyes, and this little, I put this on all of my gorbs like a little trinket. I'm working on freehanding a pattern for like a mossy like vest and like having like a mossy skirt and stuff. Like I like this one a lot. That is what I made for my market prep. Tomorrow is market day. I have absolutely no clue if I will get any footage of the market. It definitely will not be a whole video because I get awkward, but here's any footage of the market, like set. I don't know what my setup looks like. It's my second market, so be kind. I'm excited. My last market, I brought, I don't know how many dollars in stuff because I was not organized last time, but I sold $400 worth of stuff, and I am only on like a small base in California, and that's the only people I'm selling to is people on this military base. I think 400 is pretty good. It wasn't even, there was 2 markets going that day. I didn't know, but I went to the smaller market, and my booth fee or my table fee is only $5 because it's something they do for the people living on the military base in the home-based businesses or whatever. They just have a really low booth fee. Like the next one I'm doing is a $15 table fee, and it's a 10 by 10 space, but this one's supposed to be a lot busier. So we'll see. I think I took about the same amount of product last time, maybe a little bit more expensive items. And this time I brought a lot smaller items. So we'll see how that changes my sales, and then also being at a bigger place. I have high hopes. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.